way black people are losing babies. Nobody.
This ethnicity does not cause the virus. Why do you keep using this? A lot of people say it's racist.
It's not racist at all, no, not at all. It comes from China.
President. In the months leading up to the election, Trump had pushed false claims that Democrats were planning to rig the results. After
in the neighborhood.
Extra police were called in and the tactical unit was stationed on West Florissant, several blocks away, after officers heard additional shots fired near the scene. Extra police were called in and the tactical unit was
Protests in
stationed on West
Ferguson started the
Florissant,
afternoon
several
of
blocks
August
away,
10th.
after officers heard additional shots fired near the scene.
A vigil and peaceful demonstration Sunday evening. Ferguson.
So, why do political rituals matter anyway? Well, they have always been the cornerstone of power, no matter the culture or era. In today's video, we're diving into the fascinating exploration of political rituals and its role in shaping society. Some of which pretty obvious. Others, however, downright spell work.
Insidious.
This video today is sponsored by SENTRY PC. In today's digital world, keeping your kids safe online is more important than ever. With SENTRY PC, you have complete control at your fingertips. Monitor and manage their screen time, block harmful websites, and track their activity in real time. SENTRY PC empowers you to protect your children while giving them the freedom to explore safety. It's easy to use and it works on all their devices. Give yourself peace of mind with SENTRY PC. Your children will absolutely hate you. It's the ultimate parental control software because keeping your kids safe has never been this easy. Click the link in the description for more details. David I. Kurtzer, in his book Rituals, Politics, and Power, journeyed through time and across continents, showing how rituals have been the glue holding political life together. Whether it's the grandiose ceremonies of the Aztecs, who are said to have engaged in frequent human sacrifices, which this point will become important much later, or the choreographed display of power in the Soviet Union, rituals have always been about more than just tradition. So this is for the people that write off the intangible mental and emotional manipulation that goes on with it. But I'm here to take it a step further. I'm here to say these are downright specific rituals that are designed to work dark magic on the people. There are vivid examples like the intense symbolism during the French Revolution or the complex colonial rituals in Africa.
Named. Many former colonial nations are facing a moment of reckoning over the actions of their forebears. Today, we look at how colonialism has shaped our past in Africa, how it is impacting our present, and we ask what needs to be done so that the future looks different.
And even strategic rituals in the Italian Communist Party. So while this is not exclusive to the United States, I would argue that United States got them in a chokehold, baby.
When I'm reelected, I will totally obliterate the deep state.
officers heard additional shots fired near the scene.
No justice! No peace!
Shortly after 2 p.m., the mob breached the Capitol building, forcing Congress to recess and be locked down.
We got chopped in the truck for Donald Trump. We got chopped in the truck for Donald Trump.
Which I would argue is the most manipulated, seduced, and subjected to propaganda nation there is. Kurtzer argues that the rituals are vital tools used by both conservatives and revolutionary groups, believe it or not, the good guys, to solidify authority. He argues that whether to inspire loyalty, legitimize power, or convey ideology, rituals are an essential part of the political playbook. Welcome back to the channel. Make sure you subscribe. Today we're going to be taking a deep dive into some key events before 2016 that shaped both the LGBTQ plus rights and racial justice in the United States, if you can even call it that. We'll look at the progress made as well as the harsh realities that continue to challenge our society. And even though Mr. Past President Obama is fine as hell and he can get it. Sorry, Michelle. Most of the contention in society that we are dealing with present day starts with the Obama administration. And listen, I'm not blaming, I'm just naming, okay? And you're going to find out how all these things connect and link together by the end of the video. So you want to make sure you watch to the end and leave your comments. Side note, what you think Trump is thinking looking at Obama in this photo?
My colleagues can tell you this is a long time in coming, but I'm happy it's here. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Please be seated. It was a great five-star general and president, Dwight D. Eisenhower, who once said, "Though force can protect an emergency, only justice, fairness, and consideration and cooperation can finally lead men to the dawn of eternal peace." By repealing Don't Ask, Don't Tell today,
y'all, listen to Joe Biden sounding all coherent and stuff. You go, Joe.
It was a full 4 decades after the war, when the two friends reunited in their golden years, that Lloyd learned that the man who saved his life, his friend Andy, was gay. He had no idea. And he didn't much care. Lloyd knew what mattered. He knew what had kept him alive, what made it possible for him to come home and start a family and live the rest of his life. It was his friend. And he knew that valor and sacrifice are no more limited by sexual orientation than they are by race, or by gender, or by religion, or by creed.
A landmark moment in 2010 when President Obama signed the repeal of the Don't Ask, Don't Tell policy. For those unfamiliar, this is a policy that had prohibited openly gay, lesbian, and bisexual individuals from serving in the U.S. military. Now, the repeal allowed LGBTQ plus service members to serve openly without fear of being discharged simply because of their sexual orientation. Now, Obama says, and I quote, "This is a victory for America. This is a victory for all who have fought and died for this country." Fast forward to 2015, another monumental event took place, this time in the Supreme Court. Now, honey, don't get me to line on how to say this, so you see it on the screen. Now, the decision legislated same-sex marriage across the United States. Although this wasn't a direct action by the Obama administration, President Obama celebrated the decision as a major victory for equal and civil rights. This ruling ensured that marriage equality was recognized in all 50 states, a historic win for LGBTQ plus rights. While there were significant strides in LGBTQ plus rights, the country was and still is grappling with the ongoing issue of racial injustice, particularly the public executions of black men that sparked outrage and ignited movements.
George Zimmerman. 25-year-old Andre Thomas was among those energized by President Obama's remarks about Trayvon Martin.
I feel like the president really saying something really meant a lot to people out here, and it really does gave an extra, kick in the pants to this movement.
No justice! Thomas feels there's a double standard for justice when it comes to race.
If Trayvon Martin had a gun and he stalked Zimmerman, he'd be in jail.
Martin's mother Sabrina spoke to the Lower Manhattan crowd, while his father Tracy appeared at a rally in Miami.
He was murdered.
Protesters turned out today in Philadelphia and dozens of other cities across the country and in front of the White House.
That Trayvon Martin could have been me 35 years ago.
Following the president's comments on the divisive trial, demonstrator Hilda Clark said she was surprised he had been subjected to racial profiling.
It is unfair, it is insulting, it is deadly, obviously.
Like Mr. Obama, Clark said she viewed Martin's death through a personal lens.
Trayvon died needlessly. He was an innocent child, and he could have been my grandchild.
Protesters want states like Florida to re-examine the self-defense laws that exonerated George Zimmerman, and the Justice Department to pursue civil rights charges against him. That's the aim of a petition that has nearly 600,000 signatures. It's backed by music superstars Jay-Z and Beyonce, who appeared at the New York rally.
If you're wondering if any legislation was passed or changed about the Stand Your Ground law in Florida, it wasn't. So after that, in 2012, Trayvon Martin's death marked the beginning of the series of high-profile cases that highlighted systematic racism and the dangers faced by black individuals in America. His death was a catalyst for the beginning and the birth of the Black Lives Matter movement, which continues to fight against racial inequality and police brutality. Just 1 year later, in 2014, Eric Garner's tragic death at the hands of NYPD shocked the nation. His final words were, "I can't breathe," becoming a rallying cry for protesters against police violence. And then in Ferguson, there was civil unrest in 2014 sparked by the fatal shooting of Michael Brown, further underscored the deep-seated issues of police violence and racial profiling. The protests in Ferguson weren't just about Michael Brown, they were about the broader systematic issues affecting black communities across the country. And the youth were furious. They were talking. Social media was set ablaze. This was probably the first time in history that social media began to spark the consciousness of the youth.
Fair law, you are property of this country. What you think your birth certificate is, nigga? Okay? Okay? So Abraham Lincoln never freed the slaves. He signed the Emancipation Proclamation. To emancipate means to free from your hand. Go look it up. To free from your hand, man. Your hand. Not your control.
Fresh from the pioneer, and my melanin ain't for sale. I heard the devil won't chase me down. He know I wanna escape this hell. But I self-law and master. My degree didn't come from no master. Don't shoot! Hands up! Don't shoot! Hands up! Don't shoot!
Actually, anytime it's been here on over it needs to have how long is it? This belongs to actually the entire United States. It's not yours. It's not. Okay. Hold on.
You committing a crime. You in violation.
No, it's not how it works. It's okay though. You don't know.
Everybody back out! Back out!
Is anything she just did a crime based off any of the case code that you get the case? Did you see the assault on a police officer? Resisting arrest?
We got chopped in the trunk for Donald Trump. We got chopped in the trunk for Donald Trump.
Woke up one morning and heard this weird ass motherfucker talking out the side of his neck. Me and all my peoples, we always thought he was straight. Influential motherfucker when it came to the business. But now, since we know how you really feel, it's how we feel. Fuck Donald Trump. Fuck Donald Trump.
God, why you always lying ass? Crisis actor hiring ass. White girl crying ass. Hate to hear the truth, so your face getting tight ass. Hate to hear the facts, screaming black on black crime ass. Alternate Philando killed, now you see the proof ass. Took you all this time to see that we was telling truth ass. Bush stole the election, them 8 years was a blower ass. Pokemon.
Can give a fuck about police, this is the land of the free. Hey, put your hands up, or you gon' be a man and stand up. Unlock my mind, so what the fuck are handcuffs? We got stop, fuck.
Forgive me, I've been running blind and true. I'm a rain on this little love to the sweet I knew. This is just the beginning, this is gonna go on just. Don't follow away. May the last one burn to place. Freedom, freedom, I can't move. Freedom, cut me loose, yeah. Freedom, freedom, where I go, 'cause I need freedom too. I would change about myself, let my freedom ride in hell. Hey, I'ma keep it right, 'cause we're
And that alone, I believe, sent a spark of fear to the higher ups, to the dominant culture, and to the elites. They didn't know what to do with these young folks.
Insecure white men become, the more they feel a need to exert their superiority, their power and their force. And so the one obvious victim of white rage has always been black men.
There were certain conditions that had to happen in order for the rise of Donald J. Trump to occur. One in which being
insecure white men become, the more they feel a need to exert their superiority, their power and their force. And so the one obvious victim of white rage has always been black men.
The Obama administration threatened the status quo of white male domination. And because it threatened the status quo, this caused a lot of Americans secretly to be uneasy that the old regime was coming to a screeching halt. Not to mention a black man being in office for 8 years and passing many laws for the LGBTQ plus community, almost symbolic to these very same people that there was an attack on the nuclear family, an attack on modern families, when more so it was the revealing of the truth behind the mirage of the nuclear family and many other constructs that simply were not being able to sustain themselves under the guise of these Protestant imperial ideologies that this country was founded on. So this alone became the energetic ritual for Donald Trump's rise. I know many of you were looking for ritual in terms of an eyes wide shut kind of a mass meeting with all of these weird spiritual symbolic acts. And not exactly, although according to Donald Trump and many of the deep state conspirators, this in fact is happening.
when I'm reelected, I will totally obliterate the deep state.
A ritual, for all intents and purposes, is just a set of actions, behaviors, or ceremonies performed in prescribed order, often with symbolic meaning and typically conducted to religious or cultural traditions. Rituals can be found and public, like religious ceremonies, or informal and personal, which is what we're experiencing, like daily habits or routines. So the daily habit, or the habit of the bloodshed of unarmed Black men, as a rage response almost to the power and domination of a Black man in office. And remember when I talked about very briefly the Aztecs and how they were constantly requiring human sacrifice. Would you not regard the unaliving of Eric Garner, Trayvon Martin, George Floyd, Sandra Bland as almost a ritualistic practice? And consequently, Donald Trump used all of that rage and insecurity of the dominant culture to his advantage.
I don't know what's going on with her.
Such a nasty one. Hillary Clinton's going to be a horrible president.
Every time I think about Trump, I get allergic.
Hey, when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything. Look, you gotta see this guy. I don't know what I said. I don't remember. I would imagine it can only get worse. They're bringing crime. They're rapists. But we have some bad hombres here, and we're gonna get them out. And some, I assume, are good people. But we're gonna build a wall. Who's going to pay for the wall? And I think you can see I'm having a good time. I really am. Rosie O'Donnell's disgusting. I mean, both inside and out.
You called women you don't like fat pigs, dogs.
Take a look at her. She's a slob.
Slobs, and disgusting animals. Your Twitter account?
Only Rosie O'Donnell. Like you wouldn't have your job if you weren't beautiful.
They're worried about my tone. Oh, look at my African American over here. Look at him.
Donald J. Trump is calling for a total and complete shutdown of Muslims entering the United States.
Boy, bye. As you can see, the dominant culture was down pretty bad, and they was full of fear, and that helped Donald Trump's campaign tremendously. But that's not what gets him the attention he has now. In fact, we're going to have to look to the other side to see why they want him back, and why more now than ever you have seen the emergence of men of color supporting Donald J. Trump.
I've had conversations that basically said that welfare is the reason why a lot of Black people end up being Democrat. They say, first of all, it's a limit to amount of jobs. So the fathers lose the jobs, and they say, we'll give you more money for having more kids in your home. And then we got rid of the mental health institutes in the 80s and the 90s, and the prison rates just shot up. And now you have Chirac, what people call Chirac, which is actually, our murder rate is going down by 20% every year. I just talked to the superintendent, met with Michael Sachs, that's Rom's right-hand man. So I think it's the bravery that helps you beat this game called life. They try to scare me to not wear this hat, my own friends, but this hat, it gives me power in a way. My dad and my mom separated, so I didn't have a lot of male energy in my home. And also, I'm married to a family that, not a lot of male energy going on. It's beautiful though, but there's times where, it's something about, I love Hillary, I love everyone, right? But the campaign, I'm with her, just didn't make me feel as a guy that didn't get to see my dad all the time, like a guy that could play catch with his son. It was something.
Daddy issues.
Kill all these fuckers. I'm sick of this shit. I'm so fucking tired of this shit. Fuck this shit. So many motherfuckers fucking tired of this shit. Don't let me kill all you motherfuckers. Come on, me, motherfucker.
The absence of a father figure and the need for definitive masculinity, which seemed to be under some sort of perceived threat, had black men punching in the air and looking to Trump to save not only the dominant male culture, but masculine identity as a whole.
That's just what it is. That's just what it is. If you don't like it, unsubscribe. I'm not one of them niggas that live off of followings and internet. You can kiss my ass, because soon as they done draining this swamp, what you think we about to do with you? What you think we about to do with you? What you think we about to do with you? What you think we about to do? What you think we about to do with you? Y'all niggas is out of here. Y'all celebrity niggas is out of here. NBA niggas, football niggas, huh? Bitch ass, coon ass niggas, you're out of here. Because you're popping Molly, sipping lean, and dribbling basketballs all day, every motherfucking day, with no knowledge of what is going on in America. Huh? As soon as the niggas knock on your bitch ass window and say, hey, black man, cut off loving hip hop and go take a look at what's happening in the White House. Donald Trump is trying to save the country from the deep states. Oh, nigga, you a coon. You I tell you what, I'll beat your ass. How about that? I'm not playing with y'all niggas. It has been, we are behind. Behind.
Hey, bro, you hungry? I was about to make a bowl of cereal. You want one? Excuse me, cereal? Yeah, I got Captain Crunch. My Hebrew Israelite, highly melanated but underappreciated brother, I know that you did not just offer me a cereal, which is a sugary substance that is not made most delectable until integrated with a white milk. What? Your second sin, my low down dirty brother, was that you offered me a cereal called Captain of Crunch. You might as well have offered me a Massa Meal or a Cracker Pops. You dead ass? Cause you know it's just a children's cereal. CCC, my underconscientious brother, this is what they want you to think.
Oh my God. The mother of Mecca is right here before me. Do my eyes not deceive me, or am I looking at the goddess Isis herself? Can you do me a favor, my brown skin angel? Can you tap that white girl for me? My milk of magnesia. Oh, after the devil made you, he broke the mold. Well, maybe you and I could make a little jungle fever.
As funny as that clip was, the presence and the fear of not being able to maintain masculine dominance in the culture due to the rise of LGBTQ plus rights and women's rights sparked a fear like no other in men, and consequently created this weird, cringy Hotep figure. Side note, it's really sad what happened to young Pharaoh. He was one of the greater minds of our generation. Now, because of all these events that stem from the fears that sparked from the changes made in the Obama administration, none specifically catered or geared towards black men and black empowerment, because remember, even though Black Lives Matter was created, there were no real policy changes. Correct me if I'm wrong. That being said, Black Manosphere enters the chat.
Ratchet assholes. Bring him back! Bring him back! Bring him back, and it's gonna be end for you and him, I promise you. Okay, come on in! Come on in! It's gonna be the last time you live. So come on in right now. Men can't have preferences. If you want to be a fat hoe, fantastic! But don't expect me to sit here, bust my ass, become a self-made multi-fucking millionaire, get my clout, get my status up, and accept you, bitch! Fuck out of here!
Okay, so hold on. Let's talk about this though. See, I find it funny that women like yourself, baby mamas, all of a sudden want to get stingy with the puss after you done gave your womb up before a ring. But then you want the high value men to put a ring on it before he gets it?
So am I supposed to give it away?
You goddamn right you already did. Because here's the thing. See, that's what I mean. Man, you're a used vehicle wanting brand new 2021 prices.
But it was actually my mom that warned me and told me, hey, don't marry an American woman. They're not going to treat you well. They're not going to cook and clean and take care of the house and all this other stuff. Don't marry a Western woman. I was like, Mom, what the fuck is wrong with you? Then as I got older, I started to realize, like, damn, a lot of Western women do have really bad habits that aren't conducive to a good long-term relationship. And guys really got to step their masculinity up to command respect from their girl and get her to submit.
Obsessed with submission.
Hi, man. What do I do?
Be reincarnated. Are you a virgin?
No.
Buy a dog, die alone. Fuck attraction. No, they don't want you. The guys you want aren't asking you out. Get the fuck out of my phone.
And so on and so forth. And these guys go on and on like this, clearly with some level of a degradation and a humiliation kink. The kind of guys that were in high school talking about where my hug at. And then when they finally got money, they were like, yes, I get to pick any woman I want to degrade and abuse. Yes. And apparently this is what the perks of alpha masculinity afford them, the ability to degrade and humiliate women. And you'll notice this same behavior with Donald Trump, as he calls many women fat pigs, dogs, and tells people to grab women by the
pussy. Grab them by the pussy.
There's plenty more of these manosphere douchebags, but I simply just don't have the time or the stomach to cover them all. But the point is that they were used as a mechanism for alt-right pipeline by spouting the nonsensical fears of the attack on the family structure, a structure that their actions prove they clearly don't give a fuck about, but somehow they want to make sure that women are still tethered to the idea of the nuclear family, even though their actions showcase that they generally sleep with S workers and pay attention to OnlyFans girls. So I don't know. I guess in some far off near future, they may be concerned about getting with some modest woman to cook and clean their houses or something like that. However, this is one of the biggest things. Having that control, having the control of the narrative. Black men are convinced something is being taken from them, but that something that's being taken from them was something that they never valued in the first place. So I kind of find it hilarious.
Obtain your honorary PhD, your pimpin' hose degree, as he calls it. In fact, why don't we look at the original course description to get a better understanding? My name is Andrew Tate. I'm the most competent person on the entire planet to teach you about male-female interactions. How did I become rich? Webcam. I've been running a webcam studio for nearly a decade. I've had over 75 girls work for me, and my business model is different than 99% of webcam studio owners. Over 50% of my employees were actually my girlfriend at the time, and out of all my girlfriends, none were in the entertainment industry before they met me. I don't know if that's a flex. First thing, keeping 4 girlfriends all happy is hard work and leaves you with very little time. So you learn how to streamline getting new good girlfriends. All women are not created equal. This is how I came up with what is now the PhD system. I learned the most time efficient way to meet girls, get them through the dating process, get them to bed, test if they're a good girl or not, and begin the process of them falling deeper and deeper into love. That is my skill, to extremely efficiently get women to fall in love with me. That's it, and no one else on the internet is teaching this. No.
These are the pioneers of Black Manosphere. I'm sorry. I can't stop laughing. It's just, my goodness. It is the most hypocritical shit I've ever heard in my life. Nonetheless, the important part to remember is they have taken these men who wish to be scumbags and do it openly and exploit women, but they also want women to want to be married, to want to have a nuclear family, and to want to submit to them. That's what being an alpha male is all about. And if you can somehow live your life as a pimp and she lived her life as a modest traditional wife, you've won the game of life. Wow. Just wow. Now, as you know, with the emergence of 2020, a lot happened. So if you want me to make a part 2 to this video, if you've made it this far, leave that in the comment. I'll go ahead and make a part 2 from 2020 moving forward. But now we see how politicians can take the fear, the anxiety, and the demise of the people and use it for political power. This, my dear, is how you use political power in rituals. And now that Kamala Harris has entered the chat, oh, they cutting up big.
And this is my rebranding. I get it. Until now, Americans have seen me as that childless Karen that always has too many drinks at the cocktail party. And you don't have the heart to tell my husband Doug that he's a whipped beta male married to an insufferable witch. Look, I get it. I'm unlikable. I'm inauthentic. I say crazy shit.
It is time for us to do what we have been doing, and that time is every day. When we talk about the children of the community, they are the children of the community. You need to get to go and need to be able to get where you need to go to do the work and get home.
And yes, okay, I was the border czar. And so even though I might have been a bad vice president, what I do have is ambition. You would not believe what I would do for this country. Oh, who am I kidding? If you vote for me, you're as cringe as Chuck Schumer.
We are here today to throw our support behind Vice President Kamala Harris. I'm clapping. You don't have to.
Let's all see what can be, unburdened by what has been. And by what has been, I mean the Biden-Harris administration. Vote Trump 2024.